Welcome to BillionX. Today you'll discover the untold story of Larry Ellison, the man who went from being a poor kid in Chicago to building one of the biggest tech empires in the world, Oracle. Larry was born into hardship. His single mother gave him up for adoption, and he grew up with relatives in a modest neighborhood. School didn't inspire him, and college felt like a cage. Twice he dropped out, but deep down he knew he was meant for something far bigger. Larry wasn't just chasing success. He was chasing freedom, the kind of freedom that only comes when you create your own rules. This is the story of a man who refused to settle and turned his vision into billions. Larry Ellison never cared about following the traditional path. He wasn't the top student. He wasn't the teacher's favorite. But what he had was hunger, an unstoppable desire to figure things out on his own terms. After dropping out of college, he jumped from job to job, from building databases to working odd tech gigs. He read endlessly, taught himself programming, and slowly began piecing together the skills that would one day change his life. Even though society saw him as a misfit, Larry saw himself as a future billionaire in the making. It was just a matter of time and courage. The real turning point came when Larry Ellison discovered a groundbreaking concept: the relational database. While working at a small tech firm, he realized that data could be stored, organized, and retrieved in a way the world had never seen before. It wasn't just a new idea, it was a revolution waiting to happen. With 2 colleagues and just $1,200, he started a company that would later be named Oracle. Back then, no one could imagine this tiny startup would one day compete with giants. But Larry could. He believed in the impossible, because to him, impossible was just an opinion. Larry's rise wasn't smooth. The tech world was brutal. Competitors were bigger, richer, and smarter. But Larry had something they didn't: relentless grit and sharp instincts. He wasn't afraid to make bold moves, take risks, and even break a few rules along the way. He invested heavily in his vision, pushed his team to the limit, and slowly started landing deals that no one thought possible. Every setback became fuel. Every failure sharpened him. Larry wasn't just building software. He was building a legacy that would one day shape the entire digital age. At one point, Oracle was on the edge of collapse. Mistakes were made, projects failed, and the company nearly ran out of cash. Most people would have given up, but not Larry. He doubled down, restructured the business, and made daring decisions that pulled Oracle back from the brink. He took failures personally, but instead of quitting, he turned them into stepping stones. He knew that greatness was never built on comfort. It was built on risk, resilience, and refusal to give in. His boldness became the very DNA of Oracle's culture. Larry Ellison knew that to survive in the brutal tech world, Oracle needed something game-changing. His team began working on the first commercial relational database management system, a product that would revolutionize how businesses handled data. The competition laughed. They said it couldn't be done, but Larry didn't flinch. With relentless focus, he pushed Oracle to deliver something faster, smarter, and more scalable than anything the market had seen. It was a bold bet that paid off. Soon, government agencies and corporations lined up to use Oracle's technology, and the small startup started to smell like a future giant. As Oracle grew, so did Larry's ambition. He didn't just want to be another successful entrepreneur. He wanted to build a global empire. He envisioned a future where every major company, every government, and every institution relied on Oracle to manage their most precious asset, data. But growth came with pressure. Larry pushed his teams hard. The pace was relentless. Some called him ruthless. Others called him a genius. But he knew one thing for sure: playing small was never an option. Oracle was no longer a dream. It was on the path to becoming a billion-dollar reality. Larry Ellison didn't just compete. he dominated. He went head-to-head with giants like IBM and later Microsoft without blinking. His business philosophy was simple. If you're not winning, you're losing. He wasn't afraid to take bold shots at his rivals, often using humor and aggression in public statements. But behind the sharp tongue was a man who studied every move of his competitors, always thinking 5 steps ahead. Oracle wasn't just surviving, it was now leading. And Larry? He was becoming one of the most feared and respected names in tech. With billions flowing in, Larry Ellison lived life on his terms. He wasn't the kind to shy away from luxury. Mansions, yachts, private jets, he owned them all. But beneath the glamour was still the scrappy outsider who once felt like he didn't belong. Larry's success became larger than life, but so did his critics. Some called him arrogant. Others admired his unapologetic confidence. Through it all, he remained the same. Fiercely independent, brutally honest, and utterly fearless. For Larry, life was meant to be lived without limits. Even with all the success, Larry Ellison wasn't immune to failure. Oracle faced lawsuits, technical failures, and public scandals. There were moments when everything seemed on the verge of collapse, but Larry believed that setbacks were just part of the journey. He didn't hide from them. He faced them head-on. Each mistake taught him to adapt, evolve, and come back stronger. In Larry's world, the only real failure was giving up, and that was something he refused to do, no matter the odds, no matter the cost. Larry Ellison never allowed Oracle to become comfortable. He believed that the moment a company stops innovating is the moment it starts dying. While competitors played it safe, Larry pushed Oracle into cloud computing long before it became a buzzword. He poured billions into research and development, determined to keep Oracle not just relevant, but revolutionary. Critics doubted him. The market hesitated. But Larry's philosophy was clear. You either disrupt yourself, or you get disrupted. This mindset kept Oracle alive, thriving, and always ahead of the curve. Oracle's rise wasn't just about building. It was about buying smart. Under Larry's leadership, Oracle acquired over 100 companies, including giants like PeopleSoft, Sun Microsystems, and NetSuite. These bold moves expanded Oracle's reach and crushed competition along the way. Many CEOs feared Larry's aggressive acquisition strategy, but he knew exactly what he was doing. He wasn't just playing for the next quarter. He was playing for decades. Every acquisition made Oracle stronger, more powerful, and nearly impossible to catch. By the time Oracle reached its peak, Larry Ellison had become a legend in Silicon Valley. He wasn't just another CEO. He was the Oracle himself. With his sharp wit, fearless decision-making, and larger-than-life persona, Larry became the embodiment of what bold leadership looked like. His influence reached beyond technology into sports, real estate, and even America's Cup yacht racing. But through it all, his core remained unchanged. A rule-breaker, a visionary, and a man who always played to win. For Larry Ellison, money was never the true goal, it was freedom. He often said that being rich meant he could do whatever he wanted, whenever he wanted. He didn't believe in following society's script. He believed in writing your own. His story taught millions that failure is not the end, and background doesn't define destiny. Larry's message was simple. Take risks, think big, and never let fear decide your future. His life became living proof that with enough courage, anyone could rise from nothing to everything. As Larry's fortune soared past $100 billion, he turned his focus toward philanthropy and legacy. From donating to medical research to environmental causes, he understood that true success wasn't just about wealth, it was about impact. Yet, he never fully stepped away from Oracle. He still guided the vision, still shaped the future. Because for Larry Ellison, building Oracle wasn't just business. It was a part of who he was. And even in his later years, he continued to inspire a new generation of dreamers, rebels, and innovators. Even after decades at the top, Larry Ellison never truly slowed down. While many billionaires retired or faded into the background, Larry kept reinventing himself and Oracle. From spearheading cloud wars against Amazon and Microsoft to investing in biotech and artificial intelligence, he proved that age is just a number when your mind stays young and hungry. Larry once said, "When you innovate, you've got to be prepared for people telling you that you are nuts." And time again, he showed the world that it's the so-called crazy ones who change everything. Larry Ellison's story teaches us that success doesn't come from playing it safe. It comes from taking risks, embracing failures, and never giving up. He showed that your past, no matter how difficult, doesn't define your future. He wasn't born rich. He wasn't handed opportunities. He built everything from the ground up with nothing but courage and vision. His journey is a reminder that setbacks are temporary, but the lessons they teach can last a lifetime, and that the people who dare to dream the biggest often end up changing the world. Today, Larry Ellison stands not just as a tech titan, but as a symbol of relentless ambition. Oracle continues to shape the world of technology, and Larry's story continues to inspire millions who come from nothing but believe in something. If there's one thing you take away from this journey, let it be this: never settle. Never stop. Keep building, because the future belongs to the ones who dare to create it. Thank you for watching. And if this story inspired you, don't forget to subscribe to BillionX for more powerful stories that fuel your mind and dreams.